Well, let's look to Brazil a little bit. Um, Interestingly, Brazil is also not bad in most of the indexes, although it has gone worse in most of them, certainly from political empowerment. In health and survival, interesting, it is the first country, but it has low effect because its standard deviation is low. For example, in terms of economic participation opportunity, it has gone worse. Education attainment, it has gone better. It has become actually completely equal. Man and woman become completely equal in that sense. Um, this is a country card. Um, well, there's actually female participation is much higher than Turkey, 60%. Remember, in Turkey it was 27. Um, Estimated income difference is relatively high, however, basically, and wage difference is very high also. Wage difference is much higher, so women are working longer time probably to compensate for that. Um, so that makes actually the woman worse off the wage difference. Mm. Well, there is practically no difference. I mean, in some cases, for example, secondary or even tertiary environment, in terms of it, women are better than men. Actually, much better in terms of university education. 59% of 60% of the university students are women, basically, and women are also expected to live more. But in terms of the political empowerment, they are very, very bad in Brazil. It's 15% to 75%. Turkey is better in that sense, I believe. Um, and in terms of this, I mean, Turkey is worse, but still, Brazil is also not that good. And you can see the more detailed data for Brazil also looking um, this uh, looking this detailed uh, report. In some cases, for example, for educational skills, you don't have available data, as you see here, unfortunately. Um, but still, it contains much interesting data. And actually, this report is a yearly report, so you can look to the past also. You can see the past data, basically. So this is the other human development report. I actually would also like you to show that the whole report, but the report is very long, so I leave it to you. But very basically, I would like to say that this report is actually kind of the primary work that comes out of the capability approach. It kind of aims to bring the resource approach, as we have seen, um, the measuring the well-being with the available income level with the capability approach. I mean, how these resources are actually acting, meeting the needs of the people. This is their own definition. Basically, human development is uh, well things a person values being and doing, functioning set of combination of functions that can be achieved. So how people can basically create values or value things they do and they become, and how much they can achieve it. I mean, the ability for them to value things that are important might also be important in some cases. In some cases, uh, but that's a question actually. I mean, how far we can say. I mean, a person is valuing a good thing or bad thing, but capability is certain. I mean, if whether people can achieve what they value is an important um, indicator. And voice and autonomy, agency to do achieve what is values. I mean, not being enforced, but what they value. The agency should be achieved that. Um, and this is basically how, according to the report, women's inequality are actually the reasons and the outcomes of that inequality. in a way, the chain of factors that are actually causing one another. Female infanticide, that's killing the female babies, and neglect, low primary secondary education, insufficient access to healthcare, high maternal mortality risk, high burden of care work, low labor force participation rate caused by that. I mean, each of them is causing the previous one. Insufficient pensions and protections in the old age. And this is basically, in terms of human development, we see, I mean, when we separate man and woman, basically, that's share of parliament seat in them in different countries, and that's this is human development index, basically. And usually when the share of parliament seats become more equal, actually in all cases I believe, it also increases the human development index, as you can see. I would also very much like to look to data of human development index, but it is a very detailed report. So instead of looking specific graphs, which we could do, I want to show you a part which, in my opinion, is more important. That's the human development index composite indexes. This is where the raw data is represented. This is the actual index, and you can see here specific indexes also, 2015 values. In recent months, you can see actually also the recent values. For example, Norway is the very high human development index, the highest human development level according to index. The life expectancy at birth is 71.7, expected years of schooling 77.7, mean years of schooling 12.7, and GNI is 67.614, basically. Australia is second. These are countries with very high HDI indexes. Well, all of them, none of them are Asian countries, I believe. Yes, none of them are Asian countries. Hong Kong comes as the first Asian country. Then Japan and Republic of Korea comes. Israel comes as a 19th country. And Cyprus is 33rd country. United Arab Emirates comes, Kuwait, Latvia, and then countries with high, not very high, but high human development are coming. And Turkey is here at 71, 0767, basically. Where is United States, by the way? United States is here. Oh, I have lost it. 10th country with 0.926, basically. So let's go down, and you can see basically the details of the data sources and how the different indexes are calculated. Here you can see the yearly development of index for different countries. Here you can see the inequality adjusted number, well, which basically means that, I mean, this is the original HDI, this is the inequality adjusted HDI. You can see the methodology yourself, I'll leave it to you, which actually decreases its number 10, minus 10, which makes it 20th country, basically. So United States, 20th country, basically. But here the main point is actually, even if the country has overall developed is developed in terms of HDI, if it is highly unequal, that might mean sections of the country, many people in the country might remain underdeveloped. In that case, I mean, we might still call that country an underdeveloped country because there are many people who are not who have low capabilities. They might be even um, uh, uh, they might be even the majority in the country, even though on average country is it looks country is doing good. This is Turkey. Turkey is also doing worse, but in when we adjust the number with inequality, its ranks fall from 71 to 74. Any country, for example, Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is well, its ranking goes up, although it's also doing worse. When we account for inequality, all countries seems to do worse, although some countries are going up because other countries are doing even worse than them. And this is Gender Development Index. You can see Norway is again the first one. United States is now again the 10th one. And you can see the female and male differences of Human Development Index, life expectancy at birth, expected years of schooling, mean years of schooling, and estimated gross national income per capita, male and female. This is a very difficult thing to separate. We will see in time. But for now, if you really want to look, you can look to the methodology, basically. I will not go into detail of that. So besides that, you have multidimensional poverty index. Poverty, I mean, how many people are poor and basically in what sense they are poor. Population below the income poverty line, contribution of deprivation in dimension, oral poverty, people in severe multidimensional poverty, near multi-dimensional poverty. I mean, severe are they are not only poor, they are severely poor, and near are they are not poor, but they are very close to poverty. I have little time, so I go down. So this is the end, basically. Um, well, let's stop here. We are close to 15 minutes. And if you are interested in the data, you can look to the details of this data, and basically in the UN site you can also find the data in. You can also download the data for statistical analysis. So these are nice data sources, and you can use those data sources if you are interested in your 400 projects. And if you need help in doing that, I'm leaving it to you. So this is the end of this week's this topic of the gender economics course. Next time we will start looking to the historical development and evolution of the gender inequality or gender roles, basically, in economy. I hope to see you in the next lecture. And as always, I hope all of you will stay healthy.